Yeah, you're good. That was keep mine. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. It's Tuesday morning. Still dealing with a little bit of tiredness and jet lag. You got Ethalorian here, although it's not showing our titles. I don't know why. I got to figure that out.
What the hell, man?
And some stranger. Never seen this guy before. Who is it?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we got alts. Can you believe it? Alts.
GM.
Out from behind the cologne.
It's actually kind of nice not having a VR headset on my face right now to just be able to chat. There's our name.
There we go. Now we got it in. Yeah, I'm sure it feels a lot better. Don't mind me. I'm drinking my coffee.
It's fine. I got one as well. I'm still trying to wake up.
I'm just wondering. Nice coffee cup.
Oh, yeah. There's my avatar.
I was just thinking this. I was thinking I'm sitting here again. This is like a long time ago, late night GM. Like, can I slurp the coffee?
Oh yeah, that's a funny throwback, funny callback there. No, I mean, now that I'm doing more and more panels, I'm just doxing myself anyway, so might as well just band-aid it. Yeah, at least for streams. Don't expect me to be posting a bunch of selfies around the internet, but
no bathroom selfies. You're not going to go into the bathroom and take a picture of yourself in the mirror.
No, not till $100 lux, and then I'll be feeling myself.
Then you'll be taking the bathroom selfies. All right. Why? Let's start off with something else that I wanted to discuss this morning, and that is, dude, I'm still a little sore from going over the handlebars.
Oh man, that was, I mean, there was a lot of great moments in East Denver. Not saying that was great by any chance, but unforgettable, I'll say. Shout out the Droogs of Luxo, Lime Gang.
If you don't know what we're talking about, so in your city, you probably have these little scooters, and if you don't, then you're missing out. But these Lime scooters are all over Denver, and you can just
everywhere.
You just scan them, and then you are up to causing real problems.
Oh man, yeah. Especially get a little herb in you, and then you just zip around the city. It's a fun experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me share my screen because we got the picture just so people don't know what we're talking about here. Let's get this bad writer up here. There we go. That's a picture. That's a picture in front of the scooters there on the river, like a creek side in Denver. That's Kev in the middle. And man, we went out there and we tore up Denver one night. We were riding all over the place the last night before we left.
God, it was so cold, but you just, once you get on it, you don't really even care. You just push through.
Oh, hell yeah. It was a good time. So we're zipping all over. And these scooters they whip, right? Like if you open it up, like they move. Sure. I mean, you're not going 70 miles an hour, but you're not going 10. Like, I don't know what they go, 20, 25, somewhere in that ballpark, right? Like you're cruising. And I had that thing wide open, and I was riding, and the glare was coming down on the sidewalk. And Denver is a pretty progressive city, so they've got all kinds of like handicap accessible access points and ramps everywhere. So I kind of spotted it, the area where it looked like I was just going to go down a ramp onto this street that was painted all blue and had the Colorado state flag on it. It was like, I think in front of the Capitol building. And I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be dope. I'm going to, I'm like making this right-hand turn, and I was like spotting where I was going. And the next thing I know, the front wheel just went off the curb, and I went absolutely flying over the handlebars. And imagine,
I will give you this, like the way they had it painted, it was like the curb down to the street, but it was the paint of the design started on top of the curb. So it was kind of blended in to some degree. So, I'll give you a pass on that. And I was about 15 feet behind Eth when this happened. So I had a great point of view. It's one of those things where like you see it you notice it and you see something strange that your brain's trying to register as it's happening. And like, I shouldn't see a body flying like that, and it's like, it takes you a second to realize what it is. And then like, oh shit, he's crashing. And then I just, and then he did this he did the most graceful, like front roll I've ever seen a grown man ever do. Like it was like a cat. And then he popped right up and he's like, I'm good. And I was like, are you sure? And then he's like, yeah. And then I'm like, then I busted out laughing. It's like you have that moment of like, oh my God, is my friend okay? And then, yeah, they're good. Okay, fucking hilarious,
Pure horror. And the only thing I have is this like little ding on my finger. Like that is the only scratch. Although I think it's because I had that hoodie pulled up tight and tied.
Yeah. I can see in the photo there, like a bonnet.
Yeah, I think I smashed my face on the ground, but because the hoodie's like covering half of the side of my face, I didn't get scratched up.
That's like, yeah. Maybe that's, so if you're riding scooters,
yeah, be careful.
Wear hoodies. Yeah, be careful.
So, then we're cruising around, and like maybe, I don't even know, about 30 minutes later, Kev absolutely eats it too. We are trying to find our way out of like, I don't even know. We went everywhere in Denver, so we were way off track. We were pretty far out there. And we started getting in neighborhoods that would be like less than the best thing.
Yeah. A little sketch.
So we were like, all right, let's double back. And Kev was like, he kind of like went up the street, and I was following the map on my phone. I'm like, no, we got to go this way. So Alt and I went down the street, and Kev doubled back through a parking lot. And
well, he just like saw a parking lot. I was like, hey, I'm just going to cruise through this. This will be a fun little whip. And then we're kind of driving parallel. I look over to the left, and I can see him coming through, and he's headed towards the barrier of this parking lot, which is like, it had like these metal posts, and in between was a metal wire going across, like preventing people from going anywhere other than the exits and entrances. And I turned, I saw him going right. He was going straight, and then he turned and just beeline straight forward. And I go, Kevin, watch out for the wire. And then he just goes and just like throws himself off the scooter. He did his own sort of crazy maneuver in the air. I saw him land behind one of those pylons that you park against. And I was like, oh shit. I thought he smacked his head on it. And I jumped off my scooter and ran over there. And then, I mean, it was longer before I was able to laugh with Kev because he got banged up pretty good.
The best part is Kev had a GoPro on his chest, and hopefully we can like maybe get that video to show you. But he's riding, and then all of a sudden you see him just flying, and then the GoPro is just like hitting the ground. You hear all the scratching, and then Kev in the background going, "Oh, scheisse,
scheisse," every 3 seconds.
It was one of the funniest things. I mean, I'm glad that he was safe. And then
yeah.
Then we spent the next 15 minutes riding back to the hotel in like perfect silence. And at one point I'm like, this ride is definitely two guys who are thinking about the near-death experience they just had. And then Alt's hoping not to be the third one.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Final Destination. It was like coming for me, it was like, but each crash was getting progressively worse. So I was just waiting to get hit by a bus or something.
Oh my God. And those Lime scooters, man, like I said, they're really fun. We did that 2 nights in a row, like the last 2 nights we were there. And I wish I'd done it earlier because zipping around that city, it was like
It's fun, man. I mean, it's a cool way to just see more of the city from the ground up, you know?
Yeah, I got kind of addicted.
Yeah, you got it close up on the ground.
I kind of got addicted to those scooters. I just like hopping on them. It was actually Andreas who was selling me on it on the first day I got there. He's like, these scooters.
He's crazy though. He's like, yeah, just hop on the highway. Yeah, no, I'm on side. Even though it says no sidewalks, that's where I stayed.
Mostly, yeah. So, for anyone who's listening now, the probably the funniest, but it could have been the least funny scooter story was there's coming back from the main event. I wasn't in the car, but it was a bunch of people who work for the team and a couple community members, and they're zipping back in this Uber. And all of a sudden, I think it was Metaversal's like, hey, you're gonna hit that guy. It was some guy on the scooter, and he had to get the Uber driver to like stop short to not smack some guy on a scooter. And come to find out, the guy on the scooter was Jean, lead smart contract developer for Luxo. And then it became like this ridiculous running joke. Like if they had hit Jean, it would have been like bridge delayed.
Bridge delayed. Community member takes out Dev.
Then I was busting his balls for days, telling him that if that had happened and I was around, I would have just drawn a chalk line around him. Just, yeah.
Man.
I'm glad it didn't happen though, obviously.
For sure, yeah. We need that bridge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny too, because he didn't even know until like a day or two later when people started telling him the story, because he was just oblivious on his looking down at his scooter or whatever.
Yeah, right. And those things are everywhere. Again, yeah, it's an advertisement actually for Lime scooters right now.
Yeah, can we get a sponsorship?
Selling it so hard right now. It was fun though. I enjoyed it. That was one of the more memorable moments in that Denver trip. Not because there weren't plenty of things to remember, but I don't know. Driving around at night like that was a blast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where I try to think about every one of these events is like, yeah, there's always some great talks and panels and parties and stuff, and then you make amazing connections at these things every time, and some wonderful conversations. But then I always try to think about like what's gonna resonate with me, in a year or two. What am I gonna remember from this? So yeah, the scooter stuff was definitely one of those things for sure.
Yeah. So you might be wondering like what the hell else did these guys do when they were in Denver? And I guess before we go here, like let's just address the prices down. And if you are
what?
Wait, that happened.
Something happened.
Wait. Like this whole like it's across the industry. Prices are down. Everybody is hurting, right? And like prices are down, so vibes are down, and people are like losing their goddamn mind. And I've seen a few announcements of leaving on Twitter, and it's like you might think it's unique to maybe the little area of the internet that we're on, but it's like across every community right now. The one thing I can tell you is largely that happens, or it feels that way, because you're disconnected from maybe information stream that's out there, or like what's coming on a product roadmap, or like what people are working on, or it's just like you feel that way because you're focused solely on the number, and it's hard not to. Number is a pretty powerful motivator.
For sure.
Right, like if numbers up, like everybody feels good. We start freaking out. Number down, everybody's freaking out. Like Ethereum's dead, and we're all gonna die. And why did we do any of this work for years and years and years? And when we say we, like I'm lumping myself in we. Why did we do any of this work? I didn't do dick, right, for a long time. But still, like when being on the ground in Denver, talking to a lot of different people across a lot of different ecosystems, not just Luxo. Prices are hurting everybody, but the vibes are still high, because if you're here to actually impact the future, change the future in some way, right? Like actually put some work in, then the prices have to be in the background because you can't be fixated on that. You have to be fixated on moving forward and producing, right?
I mean, it's different from like past cycles where, I mean, even like, when was that? Like when we had the big NFT run and then it dumped and then we were having events as shit was crashing, you know? But that was a different vibe because like, I guess NFT and memes and other things, it's like, yeah, it's like you're in it for the fun and the culture and stuff, but it's like mostly only number go up, right? Like, because, you know, that's about, it's an investment and not really a place you can build like an infrastructure, right? Like, or a full ecosystem, right? So yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to get a sense of, you know, the vibe at these things because yeah, people are just focused like, yeah, we all know, like we all know the price. Yeah, it is what it is. Like nothing new to this space or any space of investment ever, right? Like it's always cyclical, but the ones that shine in the end are the ones that do keep building and keep that focus for sure.
Yeah, I can see the frustration for a couple of our projects, and I'm not going to name anyone by name right now, but like a few projects within the Luxo ecosystem are frustrated, and they're largely non-fungible token projects. And listen, like NFTs haven't come back at all since the bubble popped. Like it just hasn't happened. There's many reasons why we could like insert maybe like why it hasn't happened. You know, like 2021 NFTs were like the 2017 ICO. Like
same, yeah.
They're promising world-changing utility with these collectible tokens that we're going to wear as PFPs. Like, you know, I made the joke many times, like we're going to save the narwhals and we're going to do it by buying pictures of narwhals, right? And now narwhals are never going to die. That shit is just like it, you know, obviously at the end of the day, you're giving your money to a group of individuals and you're hoping like hell that they're somehow going to stay aligned to the mission that they originally stated when they launched the project. And the fact of the matter is like changing market conditions can make it really hard to do that. Like
For
people
sure,
can be
yeah.
super well intentioned, can have a token price creator, watch their runway get eaten up, and now they're stuck. There's also the, hey, I'm launching art. I'm not going to do a single goddamn thing with it. I'm telling you that at the outset. And then you get pissed that like the rest of the people around you aren't offering world changing utility. That's a little bit tougher, right? Like from like if you're logically thinking this through, if you're actually like like you're critically thinking about it, like what do you have to be upset about? Like you sold something, you made some money, might not be as much money as you wanted to, but it's certainly not a situation where maybe you should be upset that other people haven't done the work that you yourself didn't do. Hey, you guys didn't innovate fast enough. I sold art and made some money, right? Oh fuck. Well, I'm glad you made some money. A lot of people didn't make any money, right? Like it's tough in that way. But I bring it up relative to like non-fungible tokens because those are like the lowest hanging fruit of all. Maybe it's one elevated step above a meme coin.
Yeah,
like a meme
I'd
coin,
say memes are definitely the lowest.
meme coins are the lowest. Oh, yeah, froze. I just get a picture of alts looking up. Yeah, meme coins are the lowest for sure, dude. And then you froze up there for a hot minute.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi still.
Yeah, it's okay.
Not ideal.
Yeah, so let me restate very quickly. Meme coins are the lowest. Requires very little effort, especially now that there's token generators. Throw it out there, maybe someone will buy it. NFTs at least require you to like come up with some art and like maybe a vision. So like kudos to the creator. Let's all high five. You did a great job if you launched a good art project, but like by and large, there's not earth-shattering utility behind any one of these things. And even the most well-capitalized projects have rugged on us. Right? Like, let's be really honest. People who raise hundreds of millions of dollars have disappeared. So yeah, I'm saying that because like yeah, that's like what I've been thinking overnight. Let me ask you a question, Alts.
Go for it.
Is the announcement that you're leaving, is that helpful?
I will say from my experience in markets, the announcement that you're leaving is like it's your own kind of cope. Like it's kind of twofold. Some people do it because they feel like shit and they want other people to feel like shit, or they're scared and they want other people to be scared. Or it's like when you sell, right? It's like, yeah, you want to go let everybody know you sold. That way they get scared and hopefully they sell and hopefully everybody else sells and hopefully it goes down. That way you didn't sell the bottom, right? It's the same. It's the same mechanism when you buy. Like, it's like, okay, you buy and then you go tell everybody, hey guys, I'm bought in. And then you hope everybody else gets excited and it pumps, right? Like, that's all I ever see it as. Like, if I were to ever bow out of a project or leave, I personally just move on. I don't need to go to the timeline and tell everybody that I'm leaving. But I'm more like, hey, whatever happened to Alts? Where did, like, where did he go? But even then, like, a lot of times, like, I mean, even with clones, it was like, I mean, I still hold a few clones, and I still vibe with the art and stuff. But it's like, yeah, I mean, at some point, I just kind of saw that, okay, man, all the time and energy I'm pouring into this, like, maybe I should just focus it solely on Luxo, And that was just a choice I made. And then I didn't go to the timeline and trash. And no, I just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to move my energy over here, But that's my strategy. But like, I mean, so it's kind of that's the way I view those things for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's instructive. I mean, I just wanted to get your opinion on that because, like, I don't begrudge anyone. And, like, there's a couple accounts that have over the last 24 hours just posted, like, hey, I've had it. It's breaking me. Dude, cool.
Hey, everybody's got a breaking point. It's different for everybody. So, yeah, I mean, no judgments on that for sure.
No, super cool people and good people. Like, and depending on.
Well, and I still let me preface that too. So sometimes people just talk solely price, like, it's a scam, I'm out. It's like, or it's one thing if you're like, hey, like, I made a lot of good friends, wish I could stick around, but I can't. That's a totally different thing, but it's a spectrum, right? For sure.
Yeah, the like, I'm leaving, I'm going somewhere else. Like, where are you going? Because I'll tell you, being on like,
yeah.
This is not biased. This is like my observational take in talking to lots of people, like talking to a lot of different projects over the last week. Like, where are you going that you think the grass is greener, man? Right? Like,
that's the thing, right?
There's a lot of grass,
the grass is on fire everywhere right now.
VC money. There's a lot of grass being painted green with VC money, but it's not exactly growing green, right? And like, that paint runs out at some point.
Well, that's the thing. That's the ultimate mistake, in my opinion, right? Is like when you let your emotions dictate your choices, and then you end up chasing, and then you just get hurt even more. And that's what they want. But
yeah, I mean, yeah. So I wanted to bring that up, not because I feel like I want to chastise anyone for making a decision that is somehow hurting them. That's like, not, what do I want to say? It's like making a decision that would be like wrong, right? Like, I don't want to cast any decision as wrong. That would be wrong of me.
No, everybody's choice is theirs to make.
Yeah, hell yeah. Do what you got to do. Protect your own energy. Like, there's nothing we can do about it either way. What I can say is, like, we have to be able to continue soldiering on. And sometimes, like, the announcements are just kind of brutal, because on the ground, people really are working really hard. So this is not just to the Luxo ecosystem. Like, I mean, there are so many people building lots of product across the entire quote unquote blockchain space. And a lot of people are doing it. They're not well capitalized. They're doing it because they're trying to innovate. They're trying to push something. They're trying to make something happen. Yeah. And it's hard to make things happen. And you're like, Waltz, like, you go to an event, you're talking on the side to somebody, hey, what are you up to? And they tell you this fucking amazing thing that they're building, and they're struggling to gain any traction. And it's like, puts in a lot of perspective, like how hard it is to gain traction anywhere.
Right.
Anywhere, doing anything at the moment. And the one thing I know is, like, nobody is shielded from constant negativity. Like, if you're feeling down because you're overinvested, if you're feeling like this market is really beating you up, well, yeah, it's beating freaking everybody up, right? And you are not alone. If you want a support group, like, join. But I do know it's hard if you're someone who is like, it's hard. It's a hard situation if you are actually putting a lot of time and energy into building the product and you're just being verbally assaulted constantly. Like that's a difficult space to be in. Like, let's be real honest. It's like being an NBA player. No, it's terrible. Those guys are like, it'd be like any one of you that's like on the timeline that is uber critical against any project right now. This is not, again, I want to clarify, this is not just Luxo. This is across the entire board. It's everywhere. Like, let's say I'm just like flaming Ethereum hard, the foundation, everything. Imagine someone coming to your place of work and just flaming your ass, right? Hey, great job banging that nail. If it were me, I could bang 3 in the time you bang 1, right? Like, it's just like, it's not like even though the feelings honestly at times could be justified. Like, I'm not going to take that away from anyone. Like, you can feel how you want to feel. Understand that throwing that negativity around so easily is just, it creates a toxic environment for everybody. Nobody wants to be around it, including the people that you wish were working on it. So
that's the thing, is like, when people succumb to their emotional whims, like, it ends up netting the opposite effect of what they want, right? They're angry, they're upset, so then they go verbally abuse people. And it's like, well, that's not going to help you be less angry and upset. It's going to make you more frustrated. It's going to make whatever entity you're trying to yell at more frustrated and annoyed and less productive. Like, it actually does the complete opposite. But that's like human psychology, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Do you see the tweet from Fabian this morning?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. You want to pull it up?
I'm going to pull it up just because I can. Hold on. Of course, now I got to figure out how to use this.
Because I can't, AKA I'm figuring it out.
There we go. Yeah, right. So here, we'll just read it. Fabian literally put this out this morning. He goes, I want to address our community about the current market. The crypto space is in an uncertain spot. Every project's feeling it, no matter their money or volume. I can attest to this, as can alts. Just go to Denver, talk to some people. Everyone's like, God damn.
But let me also preface, it's not just crypto. This is like macro everything. Stocks are just falling off a cliff right now too. Like, it's just the environment.
Talk to your local grocer, right? Talk to your local restaurant. Prices are through the roof and they're not getting as much traction. It's hard. It's hard everywhere. So anyway, Fabian says it's the overall sentiment. In my 12 years here, I've seen this. Markets hit bottom, hopes fade, then things reverse. Doubt turns to optimism, then frenzy. These cycles repeat. What lasts is what's built with true value, altering how we act and interact. Now, this is where, like, some of the stuff you've heard Fabian say, Ethereum drove the last evolution in blockchain, but ERC20 kept it focused on tokens and trading. We're now at the end of this era. I believe the foundation we build could lead to the next phase of all of crypto. It'll take time to explore, build, and use, but the trend is clear. Crypto will be parts of our everyday life, and profiles will be at the center of it. Okay, let's talk about that briefly. Number one, people ask all the time, like, what is Luxo? Like, if you have the opportunity, like, I'm relating this because Alt and I were just on the ground in Denver and we had lots of different conversations with lots of people. And I was asked many times, like, what is Luxo? And like, you try to explain it. And if you start with, well, it's an alt EVM with elevated token standards, like, people are just like not paying attention within about 0.2 seconds, right? Nobody wants to hear that pitch. What I found was like a really powerful one, because it makes sense to me, is like every other blockchain is architected around the token. Every other blockchain, it starts at the token. The token is the most important piece, right? That means it is the okay, let me walk that back, because I'm going to have somebody be like, yeah, of course it is. There's the native coin. That's like my general voice for Flutter. But meaning like ERC20, because it was the first token that allowed you to tokenize this idea of value and move it around. Every other ecosystem, literally all of them, are centered around the token. The token is the most important actor. And when I say this next line, people's eyes are like, oh yeah, fuck, I kind of get what you're saying. I say, in Luxo, it's the profile, it's the actor that is the most important element of the ecosystem, right? And that's at a fundamental level. So instead of the token being the most important person or actor or thing, it is the profile, it's the person, it's the agent, it's the user. And because of that, tokens play a secondary role, a more supporting role, and it enriches the user profile versus the token. The users in other ecosystems are just conduits to move these tokens around, just like reasons to move these tokens around in these registries. And like when you, again, I probably even got more complicated than I'd be if I was just talking like in a quick hitter conversation. But when you say that, people resonate like with that. They start to understand very quickly how Luxo's different, how it's differentiated. And I'm not lying. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass if you're a Luxo community member here. Like there's something very real here. And it is unique. And Fabian's not lying. Like these universal profiles have a chance to really change things. But like most things that have that energy of change or disruption, like it takes a little bit. It's hard to get it adopted. There's a lot of network effect working against it. Yeah. Alts, what's your experience when you get on the ground, you start telling people about Luxo?
I mean, it kind of just depends on who I'm talking to, and kind of their knowledge in crypto and everything. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing that more and more people are coming to realize is, hey, GM Jack, good to see you, buddy. The users are the most important. It's us. Yeah, that's one of the things is like more and more people are starting to kind of realize the true ethos of what Web3 should be, right? Like in Web2, we are the product. You know, you use these social media platforms, you're the product and you get exploited, right? And with Web3, that's no longer the case, right? We have options and standards to own our data, to own our identities now with Luxo. And and I wouldn't even say it's like the most important. I would say like it's like a dance. They're kind of a concert, like they're together, they kind of empower each other. Right. But that's the one element that just nothing else out there in crypto has is the on-chain identity, reputation, stuff like that. The truly social aspect of a profile instead of just a wallet. Yeah. So I mean, I think more and more people are waking up to that concept, and you see all these other chains that are trying to do, you know, a piecemeal element of that. But it seems the more people that I talk to, like, I mean, man, you could say a couple hundred conversations between different people and panels and things and just hearing perspectives. And that's talking to devs, project founders, VCs, investors, community members, artists, musicians, like the whole gamut. And they kept echoing the same things to me. And it was like, first and foremost, the UX is still too complicated, right? That's like the number one. Number two, where's the social? How do we meet people where they're at? I kept getting the same two things like from everybody. And that's what Luxo's been focused on for years. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, kudos to the team for just having that vision to be so far ahead of the game and to do it at the core level. So that way you get the full gamut of what the possibilities are while staying decentralized, as opposed to trying to work backwards and just like, oh, throw a couple bells and whistles so we can, shill our token. No, it's like, it's a true infrastructure that's going to be sustainable. We just need a bit of network effect.
For sure. Alts, I agree. Sweet Feel says Alts unmasked. Yeah, right, buddy. Alt is unmasked. If you go the next paragraph, Fabian says, if you're fixated on price and you let it rule your mood, man, just step away. Focus on what excites you. The market will do what it does. Constant negativity does not change that. Right. Oh, Boost has got something on there. I'm going to throw that up in a second. Right. Like negativity is not going to change price action. So like what it does is like you feel negative. We've all done it. Trust me. I feel negative at times, and you want to project it because you want to try to have someone else like empathize or sympathize with you.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And like, if you don't get that right away, it's tough. It feels isolating.
That was the whole premise behind Alts Anonymous at the very beginning. It was like that anonymous group, like AA, you know, it's like I need to get with other people and chat about this pain that we're going through, you know.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. This one, you know, Fabian goes, builders drive the real crypto space, and that's evident. Honestly, this is me ad-libbing. When you go to a conference, and if you've never been to a conference, go to one locally around where you live if you got one, and just go talk to people who are optimistic and trying to build something. It'll change your perspective immediately, right? It really will. And Fabian says, I'm optimistic about a future where crypto's in our daily life. It's not just for trading, but you need to give the builders time to work right. It's hard when we constantly feel like firemen for negative community sentiment over price moves we can't control, and all that and that happens in all crypto markets at the same time. And I want to be clear, Fabian could be talking about his own team and what they're building, but that his sentiment just extends again across every person who is trying to build anything in this industry. Like right now, like you don't know where to plant your flag, or if you do plant your flag, someone's telling you you're stupid because you planted a flag there. And this could be if you're building in Solana, people are calling you rugged. Like, you know, it's got that icky vibe to it. If you're building on Ethereum, people are saying Ethereum's dead. If you're building on a layer 2 of Bitcoin, then well, you idiot, you're moving away from Ethereum. It's just no matter what community you're in, someone's telling you you're an idiot for building there. Meanwhile, if you're actually writing code, if you're trying to build a product, if you're a product founder, you are just trying to make something happen to the best of your ability. And it's hard to hear the constant negativity. I mean, like I said, if you were at your job, no matter what it is, and Alts and I were just going to come in with a case, like with a cooler of beer and bust your balls all day long for everything you did, you would be pretty demotivated quickly. Then you might be able to put up with us for a week or two, right? You might even think it's funny, but there's going to come a point where it's not funny anymore.
Just wear on you. Yeah. I mean, and that's like, that's the difference between, you know, Web 2 and Web 3. It's like, okay, so for instance, if you held Amazon, you lost, it dipped like 95% like 5 times, right? Like people probably like, if that was in crypto, you just would have lost your mind, you know, but if you just held and didn't really pay attention, you would have become super rich, you know. But the difference now is like in Web 2, it's like, okay, it's a stock. Okay, you might check your portfolio every once in a while, right? Like, oh, how's it doing? Oh yeah, let me check. Or like, oh, you hear some news. Oh man, NASDAQ's down 3% or something. Like, as opposed to crypto, it's like you're on Twitter all day, every day, and you see, you know, out of the 12 million projects, you see one that's like, oh my God, it exploded because somebody just pumped and dumped it, you know, and it's like, man, that could have been me, you know, like, or, you know, it's just all the noise, right? And all the complaining. And then it's like, that's human nature as well. Whenever you surround yourself by negative thinking, it's like you just start thinking negatively. It's a natural thing. That's why it's just really important to focus on your mental well-being, you know. So like, I mean, I always recommend this, just forget crypto and markets, just life in general. It's like, yeah, you want to surround yourself by the type of energy that you want to be, and also, you know, put out the type of energy that you want to see as well.
Yeah, sure. Boost says users' profiles, right, are better than I think that might be an emoji that didn't come through.
Oh, perhaps.
Are better than users as EOAs. Look, we both did the
like my dog.
Thing, right? But like that's going back to the whole, like, if tokens are the center of an ecosystem, and again, not the Lux token, like the native coin of the ecosystem has to be important, right? That secures that, you know, the higher the price, the more decentralized the ecosystem, the more security that's there. If you are interested, you can look into blockchain security models and proof of stake with Ethereum. You'll learn everything you need to know. Like, it's obviously important, but when we talk about tokens, we mean the actual transfer of value between participants. Right now is purely this kind of. Is that your dog?
Yeah. She checked the chart.
No, that's hilarious. Yeah. So like we said, tokens at the center of an ecosystem, the foundational element, it's an unsteady foundation to build on. Right. So profiles as a foundation to build on. Now that's something else, because profiles gain cultural value, social value over time. There's different
well said. Yeah.
That are transferable. So
when it's something evergreen that you can build on forever, irrespective of markets.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get through a couple of these because we got a couple hot ones there. So Jack says 100% boost, gives him the up only. Connection.lick says, you?
It is me.
Then we get to Rob with the question. Rob says, how can we expect a staking service or other projects with expensive infrastructure to survive at this price? We could paper over that comment and say, it'll be fine. The fact of the matter is, this is a problem, but it's also a problem for everyone, right? Like, this is an existential problem that faces our entire industry. When we say, like, how can we expect a staking service or other projects with expensive infrastructure to survive at this price? You could be one of the 11 validators or like 12 validators for Story, right? Then it doesn't, we can utilize the ecosystem. Like, there are choices to be made where, like, maybe you can make it a little bit more profitable. The fact of the matter is, in the case of a lot of projects, a lot of DeFi projects, even with really respectable brands, I mean, they're getting absolutely freaking slaughtered on their token price. All real projects are suffering right now. And like, I think at the core of why projects are suffering is because a good portion of the community that's engaged with these projects is so focused on profit and the idea of short-term investment that we've lost track of this idea of like, we've lost track of fundamentals and more and real utility, right? So like, if you offer real utility, you're probably getting fucking slaughtered as a token. So that doesn't answer Rob's question, so we answer it. How can we expect a staking service or other projects with expensive infrastructure to survive at this price? You can't. But sitting around worrying about that isn't going to get you to the other side of the ocean either, right? Like, you're stuck in the middle of an ocean on a boat. You chose to take a journey. Now you're in the middle of the ocean. There's no land around. We're stuck on this boat. It's a small boat. And if we start honestly doing the thing where we're all going, fuck, we're screwed, is that going to help us get to the other side? No, you just have to keep pressing.
It will actually dehydrate you faster.
Yeah, you have to keep pressing. There's no clear cut. Like, no one's has the answer that tells you this is going to work. Nobody knows. You can't predict the future. And like, I say that as someone who's overinvested and has their moments where they literally don't feel good, right? This is not someone who's like, just like, I hate the concept of the fanboy or the moon boy. People call people that, like, that's thrown around in a lazy way. You throw it around because, again, you're just trying to make yourself feel better by putting someone else down. So if you're a person who does that, that's all you're doing. In this case here, literally, lots of projects, lots of ecosystems have set out to do something. We got to the middle of the ocean, and it's that period between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, the doldrums, where there's not a lot of wind, around the equator, let's call it, where there's not a lot of wind blowing. And there's not a lot of energy, and we're not moving very fast, and people are hungry, and you're wondering if we're ever going to get there. And maybe you got scurvy, like, who knows? I don't know. But like, you just like, basically saying like, how are we ever going to survive this is a question that doesn't get you any closer to surviving it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd say. Like, there is no certainty. When you took this journey, you had to take this journey knowing there was no certainty. Right now, at the lowest point, at the most difficult part of the trip, is not the time to be throwing your hands up saying, how can we ever believe that this is going to happen? Right? Oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, that was that's been ever present the whole way. We just, like, early on in the trip, there's a lot of excitement. Right now, it's tough. But again, this is not localized to Luxo. This is across the entire ecosystem. Ethereum hasn't hit an all-time high. Ethereum is stagnating at like $2,000. Do you think if you're a longtime Ethereum holder, you're not like losing your mind right now watching other projects come up around you who are well capitalized and outspending that ecosystem at every turn? The biggest booths at ETH Denver were not even Ethereum based. Like, right? I mean, Polkadot had the biggest booth. So did Story, right?
Yeah.
Polkadot and Story.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like you talk about, the average person's focus is getting shorter and shorter and shorter because of the meme cycles, right? So they thought, man, I can get rich in a day, and it's like that's just not realistic. But I mean, like it's all cyclical. Like even like I would say a similar thing is the miners for Bitcoin, right? Like they get washed out every cycle, like because it gets prohibitively expensive and they have to sell gear and sell their tokens. And then the new class comes in and they scoop it all up and then we go again. Like because there's value there. And so I mean that's the thing is I think you'll see as projects struggle, new projects will see that as like an opportunity. Like so I mean it's always cyclical, so it's like, yeah. I mean, me personally, like I don't know. I think of it like a poker tournament, right? I've entered the tournament. I'm playing. All I can do, the best thing I can do is focus on my play, right? Like I just want to play good, make sure I don't make mistakes. If I look at the guy next to me who's just a donkey, doesn't know how to play, but he keeps getting aces and he just gets lucky, or he just keeps sucking out on people and getting lucky, and he has got this massive chip stack. I don't just sit there and stare at it and go, man, oh God, maybe I should start playing 7-5 suited on on a 5-bet pre-flop. No, it's like you stay to your game, you stay to your vision because you're playing a tournament. You can't just pick up and walk out with your chips. No, you're committed to the long-term strategy. At least like that's me because I'm a long-term player. As opposed to the guy that just goes over to war and puts it all on one hand, and like puts it all on roulette, one number, and then just like, let's go big or go home. No, it's like I'm the long-term strategy. So I think as long as I just keep playing well and keep, in this case, building and creating, like I'll be just fine in the long term.
Agreed. Well, as long as you keep building and creating, it'll be fine in the long term. And that's kind of like where this if I can find where this is on my screen. There we go. Fabian says at the bottom, dude, we're all pulling in the same way. And you check the GitHub activity for developer updates.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pushing things all the time. When you watch these guys, they work all the time. Like they're at a conference, you think it's all parties and drinks. It's actually not. It's waking up at very early, 4:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning to sync with teams back home, working throughout the morning. Like they work all day. They go out to lunch and the computers come out. Like these guys they don't stop, right? Like there's nothing that's stopping. If anything, the one thing that we're lacking is more committed developers that are willing to do that stuff, right? Like my brother jokes all the time, if we had 10 Amirs, we'd be fine, right? Like,
yeah.
But like look across the board. I mean, like when I was in Denver, I roomed with Jordy. Jordy works all hours of the day. He's always on. He's working to make the staking verse the best it can be all hours of the day, never stops. Whether it's the first thing he thinks about in the morning, it's the last thing he thinks about before going to bed. We need more people who are building product that think like that act like that behave like that. And know that your team, the actual pink team, the people who work for the foundation, that work for UE, like they believe that too. They think about it all the time. We don't have the critical mass of developers that we want, but that's because it's taken a long time to get to the point where people understand what the hell's going on here. The fact that profiles are
Right.
at the foundation of the ecosystem, and the barrier for entry for a mini app is so low right now. You could build anything with a mini app, and people are, part of being on the ground in Denver is literally bringing more attention to this hackathon, the Hack Your Grid.
Yeah.
Every mini app increases network effect. So I know I'm going to get attacked later for making apologies, but like, I'm not. I'm being very realistic on how you build a team and what, like, we are a team as a community and what that ecosystem looks like. If we're on, I used the ship analogy before. If we're on a ship in the doldrums and there's no wind and we're relying on wind power to move because we don't have an engine, go back to the 17th century. If you're on the ship and you're mutinous, man, at some point it's like throw you overboard, because like you're putting doubt in people's minds that doesn't need to exist there. Right now we have to be on we're either going to make it or die, but there's no middle ground, because the worrying isn't going to help us make it. You've chosen to die. You haven't chosen to live.
Yeah, I mean, jumping off the ship and trying to swim halfway is a worse decision than just sticking to the journey, right?
Stick to the journey and figure out what you can do to try to get across, solve the problems. I mean, you ever watch the movie The Martian?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I actually just rewatched it like maybe a couple months ago. It's still good. Still
good movie. At the end, Matt Damon's character is like, at some point, things are going to go wrong and it's going to try to kill you. Mars is going to try to kill you, right? Or space. And he's like, and then it's up to you. I can't remember the direct quote, but it's effectively like, you have a problem and you solve it, and then you solve the next problem, and you keep solving problems until you get home.
Yeah.
And that's effectively where we're at, right? Keep solving problems until we get home, or we get to the place we want to go to. But laying down and saying this is too much for me, and you've already gone this far. Like, where are you going to run to? Where is the greener place at this point?
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide right now. So it doesn't matter. Like, just bear down the hatches, man.
Yeah, there could have been other places that you could have gone at some point. You could have made those decisions, but like it's a tough spot. We're just not there. Are you seeing these comments coming out?
Yeah.
Let's throw a couple up.
Sure.
Sweet Feels. There's some great news too. Like, I've smashed my original Lux goal out of the park. Yeah, right. For some people, this is just still an opportunity to accumulate. Jack says we're gonna make it, which is great, And Jack and Rob were having a conversation in the comments here, and again, Rob is concerned, rightfully so. Like, again, Rob says, how is a staking service or other projects like Universal Page or big projects, how are they going to survive at this price? Well, I can't tell you, because this price is only like, we're only at this price right now in this moment, and tomorrow we could be at a different price. It could be lower, which would be harder, or it could be higher. Who knows? I don't know. But that's where we're at right now. So Jack says, mark it up to survive and thrive, to create, like to innovate and create. You know what I mean? And like, that's where we're at. You gotta survive and thrive. Boost says that they raise, this is in relative to Rob saying you gotta raise fees maybe to survive. And Boost says Universal Page did that. Not sure if it helped them. And I don't think, because the fee is X or Y, meaning like if you raise the fees, I don't know that it's going to help anyone survive. And again, Boost has you can check all these comments in the if you want to catch the whole thread in the comments underneath this live stream. But Boost says, I would guess Rob was referring to the fact that the staking verse has ETH staking as well, which has lots of competition. Don't know, like, there's an element of also like, this is the jungle, man. Like, and you all got to survive, and you got to do what you got to do to survive. So if someone has to raise fees to survive, we're all going to understand.
For sure.
And people, decisions.
And there's one thing to kind of differentiate us with the path that we're on is different than the path that, like, if you were to invest in Solana, and yeah, you should probably have already gotten out of that, right? You ride the VC pump and then you move on. As opposed to, we're doing this organic kind of grassroots thing where, we're trying to build for the future, something sustainable that we can just stay here, set up our camp, and just build into perpetuity. But like, so ever together.
If you said something really awesome in the last 10 seconds, say it again, because you froze.
No. No, I was just saying, like, it, because we, we're this organic thing that we're building together that's going to be sustainable and into perpetuity. And it's like, I was just saying that every challenge that every problem we solve, like you said, moves the goalpost, right? We're building like this thing in real time. So like, yeah, every time anybody solves a problem, whether it's the team or the dev or community, whatever, it's the collective good just moves forward.
Yeah. I want to get off this, like, this topic, but it needs to be addressed, because like, people
for sure
are saying whatever, people are expressing their feelings, and they're allowed to do that.
No, totally. And just remember, like, it whenever it is time to change, it will change fast. Like, I mean, they announced the crypto reserve, and it's like shit went off the rails. We pumped like 50% in a day. Like, it will move fast. Even post Ryko, we went from $1 to 27 in 3 weeks, 27x in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like this stuff will move fast when it's ready. Like, yeah, they just dumped a bunch of tariffs now. It's like, and then everything crashed again. Like, so it's just, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, the markets will change because that's what they do.
Yeah. Bruce says, hey, how about less innovations and more already existing services just ported to Luxo? Right. And hey, Bruce agreed, right? Like that'd be perfect. I can say that I sat across, there was a moment in the middle of the week, I was sitting at a table with 4 other people. All 4 of those projects are launching on Luxo, and the community doesn't even know, right? And a couple of them are, as you know, Alts, they are existing projects that are being ported over to Luxo. So,
I mean, I had some conversations as well of like big projects that are integrating Luxo and integrating LSPs, not just, you know, ERC20. So that's what we want. That's what we want to see. But like they can't go live till the bridge is live, right? So like stuff's coming. That's what gets me hyped. You know, you go to these events and it's like, yeah, the price is dumping, but it's like, man, no, the team, things are heading in the right direction, man. Like we had on this big ship, I feel like we had you know, a pivotal point in our journey where, you know, the whole team's like, let's redirect the ship. Let's change courses a little bit, right? Because we see a better way to get to where we want to go. And I think we've turned the ship, and now we're okay. Let's get the rudders going a little quicker, and we're moving faster, but in the right direction, I think. So yeah, I mean, I personally think once the bridge goes live, we're going to start to see what this ecosystem is really going to look like and can be capable of, right?
Yeah, Jack wants you to share the names. Share the names. That would be inappropriate.
Yes.
Because I need that would be at the discretion of the growth team, right?
Yes. Don't bite the hand that feeds you alpha.
No, not at all. I will say I was sitting with, I can tell you, because like Alt said, we got to wait for the bridge. I was having breakfast with 3 individuals that are all DeFi founders, right? Like, and again, that was another conversation. That is in another, like, things are happening here. No one is sitting on their hands, but everything has to happen in a coordinated way. And really, until we have the bridge, you can't have the other things that we need. One thing everyone's begging for is stable coins. Lord knows I've been yelling about stable coins. Can't have it until we have the bridge. I mean, it's just like our ecosystem, a native deployment of a big stable coin like Tether USDC is like, it's millions and millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And frankly, we're just not in a position to do that right now. So we have to wait for the bridge, but it's coming. So thank God we didn't mow down Jean with the terrible. But I know he's, but like I saw the bridge. Alt saw the bridge, right? It looks good. Yeah. It's well architected. Like, come on. Here, this is do you guys know if the bridge will be bi-directional? Yes. Yes, it will.
Yes, the bridge will be bi.
Yeah, the bridge will be bi. You'll be able to bring value on, you'll be able to take value off. For sure. Yeah. Oh, I just got a flash on my phone. Synthetics down again. Again, real project, real value. Their token is just getting absolutely slaughtered right now. Just absolutely slaughtered.
Well, what you should do is go to the timeline and trash them.
Yeah, I should just trash Kane repeatedly. Kane, founder of Synthetics. Boy, you suck. So why don't we check this out? Because like we did something kind of cool in partnership with the foundation alts. We did Resonate. You want to give people an introduction to that? Because I feel like that's really showcasing your skill set.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a way to utilize some of our skills together and just do something cool. Because we've been talking with John and Annalisa about just Web3 culture and music and how those kind of things intersect. Which I mean, everybody knows there's plenty of DJs in the Web3 space, and there's reasons for that. Because there's a lot of overlap with kind of style and culture and approach and vision and passion. So we had the idea to kind of coordinate with them and line up some DJs that are in Web3 to have a really in-depth conversations to kind of make a little mini documentary to kind of highlight their perspectives, their journeys, talk about, really interesting angles on, how those things intersect with Web3 and then, what's missing, what's needed, and then ultimately on our side, right, we're always thinking about how can Luxo, solve this, right? But yeah, so I think like it was just really great to sit down and chat with some DJ creators, and especially like that week during ETH Denver, we had the pleasure of seeing Lucien play at the official ETH Denver opening party, as well as Annalisa. So yeah, that was super fun, and it was great. And thank you everybody who did sit down and chat with us. It was wonderful hearing your perspectives.
Yeah, this is meant to be marketing. So like if you're asking when marketing, like this is actually meant to be marketing, but I think marketing done from an angle that has potential to get a lot of traction in an organic way. And it's marketing dreamed up by it's marketing, we definitely talked to Alan, who's the CMO for the Fancy. This is with the growth department with Annalisa, social and marketing. And then we use our talents to kind of help coordinate this whole thing and bring it together. And Alts and Kriegel as the creatives behind this. And the idea that we're going to bring together we say we're the blockchain for social culture and creators. But what does that mean? Like, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to be it and live it and do it. And that's what Resonate was about. Resonate was about highlighting, one, how, I guess, connected we really are to that idea from the highest level, from Lucien as the managing director of Fancy, as a performing DJ, down through Annalisa's contacts in this space, these real creators who are attached to lots of different projects in the ecosystem, Farcaster and Audius, and their own individual projects, their own individual communities. These people are out meeting lots of different product teams and community members across crypto just in general. And like the conversations are centered around like what problems they're facing as small creators, because they don't have big deals. They're not like, they're not flying around on private jets. Like, how are they interacting with their audiences? Like, what is their journey like? How is blockchain solving their problems or not solving their problems? And these interviews, there's 8 separate ones that all were asked pretty much the same questions. And our idea was, if we can like elevate this conversation, do it in an artistic way, we can then take this conversation, we can give a deliverable at the end that's documentary style video. But we, as community members on Luxo, the blockchain for social culture and creators, we can then showcase that asset, that documentary, inside of Luxo standards. Like, we can make this event come to life using the grid, using the updatable metadata from LSP7, using this idea that each one of these DJs is a creator of that event. They're tagged to this token, to the universal profile, and really elevate the experience, not tell them that Luxo solves their problems, show them how these profiles can really elevate their presence and give them that decentralized look. Never mind if we add in the cool shit like ticketing and all the other stuff we want to do later. Shout out to Jack again for the pop protocol. That should still keep living on your mind, dude. Don't, just because like it didn't go once, I've seen your messages. Like, keep sending it. Honestly, we talked to Lucien about this extensively. Ticketing is a use case that has to be brought forward. But that was our goal with Resonate, and now it's our job to deliver the end piece. So Alts was definitely like, oh my God, I got to back up the video. I got to back up the video. I got to back up the video for probably like 12 hours right after the shot. Like, I got to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, I had a drive that did not want to cooperate. So yeah, I like to double back things up, and then yeah, just to make sure you don't lose any footage or anything. But yeah, and you can see in some of those photos there, we rented out a speakeasy to be able to have this like kind of set the space for these conversations. And then we had live sets from the DJs. Each one of them got to play their own set, and then we brought in a few other guests, DJs as well that performed, and it was a nice vibe in there.
Yeah, and and you're like, if someone's like, oh man, yeah, you held a party. No, that wasn't the focus. We filmed the documentary, and then we like at the end just had the space, so we let the DJs perform on open decks, which is a really cool vibe. And it was almost like a co-work space while the interviews are going on. Like there was lots of people doing work around the sides. Had a couple developers, had at least one developer who just joined the event. He was like, I didn't know anything about this. I just saw that there was DJ's decks, and he set up his a whole like a Mac, like literally a Mac Mini.
Yeah, like, right. Yeah,
it was
like
hacking
a full
away.
Workstation. Yeah,
yeah, it was hacking away, and I mean, it was good vibes all around. But again, I think the deliverable has an opportunity to show how marketing can be done, not just from the formal marketing department, but like in this idea that we're a real community. We're not a fake plastic tree community. Like we're not just running around trying to draw attention to ourselves in this like almost bubble way where like I'm really popular today, but I won't be popular tomorrow. Like we're trying to really hit at the core of what is culture, right? This vibrant element that's out there right now. I'm definitely guilty of before being like, fuck, everybody's a DJ these days. But then you talk to these people, and they're like real cool, interesting individuals that come from different backgrounds that just are passionate about making music or like providing entertainment, and they all have different struggles, and it's cool. It like brings it to life, and you realize what we're building here with profiles as the foundational element of blockchain can actually be super powerful and help them. It's one thing to like say it and then buy the token and be like, oh, I'm for profiles. It's another thing to watch it happen in real time. And hopefully we can bring that experience to the viewer, right? Bring that experience of like, this is what we're reaching for. These are some of the problems that we're trying to solve, and it's happening, you know?
Well, yeah. One thing I love about this style of marketing, you could say, is it touches all these other sectors that aren't just Luxo specific, right? We're not just saying Luxo, boom. It's like, no, we're going into these other sectors and then leading it back to, you know, the identity layer at the core, right? The profiles.
Yeah, exactly. We're not trying to punch you in the face with a Luxo shill. Instead we're saying, here is a culturally significant movement inside of this ecosystem that is oh man, look at this. I'm going to add Kriegel. This is a culturally significant movement that's going on really everywhere right now. Like apparently being a DJ is like really it's a musical, a very popular way to create music, right? I guess I learned to play guitar, so I'm like, noodle around on the guitar, right? But like a lot of people, they're like, no, I'm gonna just like create a musical experience mixing tracks, and they care about it, they care passionately, and like that's a whole scene, and it's an important scene. So yeah, I just want to show this right here. Kriegel, you came in at the perfect time, and let's check this out here, because we had this picture. That guy right there, this is a cool shot. That's actually our managing director for the foundation, who's a DJ in his own right, and a very good one. And that was like, cool shot. Kriegel and Alts interviewed Lucian actually on the deck there at Union Station. And hopefully that audio came through well, Alts. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet. No, but I mean, it might have been a little rough when trains came by, but it was like, yeah, we had a lot of good lot of good stuff to work with.
Yeah. So it was badass. Kriegel, welcome this morning.
Welcome. Hello,
What's up,
guys.
Kriegs?
How you doing?
Good, buddy. Good to see you.
How you feeling after Denver?
You know, the standard feeling after a long convention. You know, you get those vibes on the ground, and then just take a day to recover when you get back. So, but you miss
There are
being
3
with the
days,
community.
maybe.
Or 3. Yeah, no. Getting
Too many
settled
days.
back in. So,
Yeah. Look at this handsome devil.
My arms fell off earlier, so I don't have 8 arms.
I see someone's really smiling in your background, Alts.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Murakami flower.
Yeah. Always smiling. Murakami's always smiling.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything you got that you want to bring up here? Either of you fools.
Well, oh, go ahead, Kriegs.
Oh, go ahead. I mean, you guys were recapping
I was just going to put a little bow
so.
on what we were just talking about with Resonate. I mean, it was good just having boots on the ground with these two knuckleheads. Being able to make content kind of on the fly. And we did a couple of live streams. I wanted to shout out Metaversal for hosting one in the lobby. It was kind of impromptu. We just kind of threw it up, but luckily, we had some volunteers from the team that would sit down and have some great discussions. So yeah, that, and we were able to live stream the Pink Village event as well, which was great with some panels there. I was happy to be a part of one of the panels with Ethalorian and John moderating. And then we had Steven and John. So yeah, it was a great chat. And it was wonderful listening to the other sides of things. But yeah, I really appreciate the team's, support for having, a lot more content this time around. So I love to see that.
Yeah, I'm showing on the screen this little clip out. It's on the Keys Twitter. Rob was making shorts. This is Steven and Metaversal there. And Steven's talking about one of his pet peeves, that he doesn't like the idea of the controller and thinks it should be a little bit more user-friendly from a non-crypto person perspective, just describing maybe what these controllers are, what they do. But you can catch this entire interview if you go to the Keys YouTube. It's definitely lives there. You can find it because it went out live, or you can go to probably any one of our Twitter pages and it sits there and you'll be able to find it. That's the good thing about StreamYard. But yeah, it was super cool to do these things. Like, we were able to get a little recap video at a skate park, chatting with the three of us and Annalisa, Annalisa's great, by the way.
Yeah, she's
amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Super vibe. So yeah, anyway, go ahead, Craig.
It's interesting just like looking back at these stills from all the time from the past week, and then you think about all that was happening behind the camera, behind the scenes, all the equipment Alts had to bring to get it all taken care of, all the coordination you did, Ethalorian. That was like there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you just don't see from the shots. Not to mention everything that the rest of the foundation team, the UE team that was there as well. There's just a little fraction of what you get to see on X.
Yeah, hell yeah. This is very true. Yeah, I know everybody probably. I know. I'm reading DMs with Rob. Rob really wants me to take a hard tack this morning a little bit. But I'm feeling a little softer, and I'm feeling a little softer just obviously coming off that week, and I just know I know too much. I just have seen too much in the past week, and talked to too many people outside of our ecosystem. I just know how painful it is for literally fucking everybody at the moment. So I don't want to pile on, That's the general idea. Raltz, tell me about this swiping mechanism.
Yeah. So, Amir, the machine. So we've been kind of brainstorming something that we wanted to come up with a project we could just work on together for a while. And then when the hackathon got announced, we're like, okay, let's team up and do something for that. It'd be a lot of fun. So we've been just kind of experimenting in a lot of different ways. And I had an idea of like, man, actually, it'd be kind of fun if you kind of took the Tinder, Bumble, like style dating swiping app. The concept of swiping for a mint, where the mentors themselves, the community, the holders get to kind of help shape the final collection, right? So basically, the way it works is you connect your universal profile, and it exists too. That's one thing we wanted to do as well, is like have a project that exists entirely in a grid. So we don't have a website. We have a Twitter, but like, yeah, the whole thing exists in a grid. So we have kind of the panels for the different things, the animations, the team, the bios, the FAQs, the traits, all those things exist in the grid. And then, so basically when we go live, you'll just connect your universal profile with that little green button there on the top left. And then you can just mint. And once you mint, then you'll have like a swipe section that'll show all of your Dracos. And then you can pick one. And then so with each mint, you get up to 3 swipes, if you want to. Totally up to you. So you can choose to swipe, and then or you can choose to just go ahead and keep. So I like the concept of just minting through that, and then plus doing it in the grid is it's gonna be a fun experiment for sure.
It's all about the experimentation. The more cool things that get added to the grid, the more incentive there is to go to the grid. And like you guys were with me all week. That's what I said probably 1 million times. I'm just like, it does not have to be the most complicated mini app. It just has to be a mini app that makes me want to stay on the grid, right?
Exactly.
Or other people's grids.
Well, and that's like, and we have a lot of ideas for more things to do. So that's what it's nice to have, that extra kind of energy and push into those mini apps, because yeah, like that's one thing with the mini apps is those things can go viral super quick, right? Once we kind of get some momentum, because they're so easy to interact with, and they're also so easy to add to your own profile. Like if you see one that you like or you vibe with, like once again, one click and you can just clone it to your profile. And that's how you kind of get this network effect of mini apps, which could be extremely powerful.
Yeah, I was talking with a person, a mini app builder from Farcaster Frames, and we were having a quick discussion. He was like, "Wait a minute, I can put mini apps I already made and put them on the grid, like inside Universal Profiles." This is at Social Everything. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. The little bit of tweak in the background, but you can definitely do it. And we were chatting, and then I was like, wait a minute, let me get Andreas over here, and he'll tell you right away. And I like flagged in Andreas, and they ended up talking for a bit. And that's what I mean. Like, there's so much happening that you can't see, and it's not reflected in token price right now. But if you just give it time, and I know someone probably just broke their TV, right, or threw their phone because I said give it time. But there's a lot happening in every one of these launches. So with Dracos here, like swipe left and right, it's not about necessarily even this project Dracos. It's about, okay, now you get a swipe left and right feature in a mini app. What else could you do with that?
Exactly.
Left and right.
Exactly.
What's
the whole concept. That's the whole concept with all these mini apps, is like, and especially as you get them out, like, oh, then that inspires other people to then go out and build something similar or with the same kind of mechanism, or whatever, inspire something else. And it's just like, it's just a flame that we're kind of building together, right?
Yep.
Proof of concept. Yeah. Experimentation. I mean, you said it earlier. So I think I'm excited to try out this UX from a minting perspective. I think it should be quite a bit of fun. So
yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey guys, I just want you to know that I've got a hard stop in 10 minutes. So we got probably 7 minutes here, Creeks, just so you're aware.
All right.
Well, let's let Kriegs
showed up,
lead the combo the rest of the way out, since he just got here.
You tell us what's interesting in your world.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many ideas for mini apps. And not as a developer though, just as a designer. So, getting to talk with developers on the ground, and help let people know, like, hey, this is possible, like, to build stuff here. I think, well, I mean, yeah, we were already talking about it. Like there's opportunity to grow network effect here, just by creating new ideas and putting them out there. And I think it all comes down to, Eth, you said this a lot last week, just minimum viable product, MVP. There are many, many grand ideas out there. But I think to get to where we want to go, we need to start with what's small and achievable, and just make it happen. And then you can add on beyond that. It's easy to work on an idea forever. I'm guilty of this. I think we're all probably guilty of this to some extent, of just perfecting something forever. But if you just put something out there into the world, and it's really easy to do with a digital product. So like a mini app on the grid, I think that's the perfect place to start. So stay tuned for what's next.
Just give people things to play with, right? Like that's what it is. Just give people things to play with and spark imagination. If you do one thing and people get excited for it, it's seldom that thing that makes the biggest difference. It's all the things that come from that moment, that inspiration, that really make the difference. So, MVPs in software don't have to be fully fleshed out. They just need to be that minimum viable product that someone can interact with and find interesting.
Yeah, just make sure they don't break catastrophically, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I had a lot of fun this week, so I'm still kind of on the hangover from that. I didn't realize how tired I was until yesterday. I slept all day.
Well, it kind of just like creeps up on you because you wake up early, meet the fam down for breakfast, grab some coffee, start working, then you end up going to this event, to that event, grabbing lunch. It's like a social and work, just wrapped into one, basically, from the moment you wake up to when you crash late at night. You do that for a week straight, and then you got to travel. It's definitely, it definitely takes a lot out of you, but always a good vibe.
For sure.
Yeah, it's nonstop. That's really what it is. But I mean, it's all, I think, you guys have been saying it through this call. I was listening earlier too. From a community perspective, there's something really special here. I didn't feel this like interacting with other groups. I think like just going to other events, there was a lot of convos about like, DeFi, DEX, like all the financial incentives of the space. And that's one angle to this. But I think it really comes down to community and culture, and just highlighting DJs in the craft of music, and other creators in the future as well. I think that really will differentiate what is happening here, and then all the other functional elements. Yes, this community is special. Sweetfield, I see your comment. Yeah, the functional elements, the finance rails, like that'll support everything. But at the end of the day, it's the community what will keep people here and grow it.
Yeah, provided we get there.
That's the hope. It's, positivity onward. I truly believe that optimism is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and likewise pessimism is also a self-fulfilling prophecy. So however you feel right now with the market, where it might be, go ahead, pull the wool over your eyes if you want, but I think manifesting what we want out of this reality, we have the power to create that. So, and if you think it's negative, if you think things are going bad, turns out that's you see what you want to believe.
Yeah.
So
agreed. I agree. I super agree. All right. I'm gonna let you guys close it out. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Alt, you got thoughts here at the end? Maybe Alt can't hear me. Alt.
Okay, sorry, I timed out again there. What's up?
I said I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then I'm gonna close this out. So you got thoughts here at the end? I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
We can go close it out. Oh, he did. Oh, wow, he did.
Oh yeah,
he literally had to run.
Yeah. Maybe
Well,
he's still
thank you,
listening,
Eth, for not going off stream. Well, while he's doing that, let me. I got a question for you, Kriegel.
All right.
So if April showers, talking about the markets, right? Like if April showers bring May flowers,
Oh no.
what it May flowers?
Oh man, you're gonna have to repeat that because the stream broke
Damn
up.
it, my bad. Damn you, Wi-Fi. No, I said thinking of the markets and kind of where we're at. So if April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring?
June runes.
No, they bring pilgrims. Duh.
Oh. Okay. Man, I don't know.
I know it's terrible. It's terrible. Well, let me hit you. I'll hit you with one more.
They bring
easier
colonizers.
But so did you hear about the famous pickle?
No, I didn't.
He's a really big deal.
Oh man.
I know I had to go low. He said he couldn't go any lower. Oh, we can't show up. We can't. Oh, Eth's back. Now we go. Eth, you dodged a couple bullets there, my friend.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you did. Wait,
Yep.
so you didn't hear? Let me ask you. Maybe let's see if you know. So talking about the markets and kind of, how they're cyclical and stuff. Like, so if April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring?
Pilgrims.
Oh, he did. He was listening.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't? Okay, you got it. Okay, nice.
The answer is colonizers. No.
The plague.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, gents. Well, I hate to rug us early, but I gotta jump.
That's all good, man.
We will we'll catch up again Friday. We'll be back and get into some more mess. Talk about
good.
God knows what else. That good?
Fun. It's been fun.
All right.
Until next time.
All right. Thanks for hosting. It's good to see you guys again. They're so long.
Well.
Yeah, I know. We've been away for so long. As I try to find the out clip here. Oh, it's right here. Here we go. Ready?
Boom.
Thank you. And we'll talk soon. All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace. It didn't give me. Oh, there we go. Funny. And
the post credit combo now.
Yeah, the mics are still hot. Everyone's listening to this still.
Okay, let's drop some alpha real fast.
Yeah.
The major integration is blah, blah, blah.
It's blank 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 blank.